1960 of 21, Shrestha Suharsh. Shrestha Suharsh. Shrestha Suharsh. Shrestha Suharsh.
How's the other side?
Conditional order will pass it, they will file a counter on the next day.
Yes, sir.
There is already a conditional order to file a counter.
First April, I'll come up with all the counters, three counters in all. In on the way?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Request to post the matter in first, madam. Yes,
And one more chance. 1/4 as 1 more
Okay,
chance.
okay, right.
Good morning, my lords and distinguished guests. Today is a historic day, as three honorable judges of the Supreme Court of India have been present here for inauguration of Integrated Courts Complex on Family Disputes. Establishment of Integrated Courts Complex on Family Disputes is a long-felt need of the Honorable High Court for the state of Telangana. And no sooner the erstwhile AP Administrative Building was allotted to the High Court for the state of Telangana, a resolution was passed by the Administrative Committee for conversion of the said building into Integrated Courts Complex on Family Disputes. And the untiring efforts of Honorable Sri Justice P. Naveen Rao Garu, Administrative Judge of the Hyderabad District, and the suggestions made by the Honorable the Chief Justice have drawn us to this successful event of inauguration of Integrated Courts Complex on Family Disputes with all amenities and facilities required for all the stakeholders. I have immense pleasure in extending a hearty welcome to Honorable Sri Justice V. Ramasubramanian Garu, Honorable Sri Justice P. S. Narasimha Garu, and Honorable Sri Justice P. V. Sanjay Kumar Garu to this event. I also welcome Honorable the Chief Justice, High Court for the State of Telangana, and Honorable Judges of the High Court. I welcome all other distinguished guests also to this event. Now, I request Honorable Sri Justice V. Ramasubramanian Garu, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to occupy the seat on the dais, and I request the Registrar General to escort His Lordship to the dais. I request Honorable Sri Justice Abhinand Kumar Shavali Garu, Judge, High Court for the State of Telangana, to present a sapling to Honorable Sri Justice V. Ramasubramanian Garu. I request Honorable Sri Justice P.S. Narasimha Garu, Judge Supreme Court of India, to adorn the chair on the dais, and I request the Registrar Vigilance to escort His Lordship to the dais. I request Honorable Sri Justice T. Vinod Kumar Garu, Judge High Court for the State of Telangana, to present a sapling to His Lordship Justice P.S. Narasimha Garu. I request Honorable Sri Justice P.V. Sanjay Kumar Garu, Judge Supreme Court of India, to occupy the seat on the dais, and I request the Registrar Recruitment to escort His Lordship to the dais. I request Honorable Sri Justice A. Abhishek Reddy Garu, Judge High Court for the State of Telangana, to present a sapling to His Lordship Justice P.V. Sanjay Kumar Garu. I request Honorable Sri Justice Ujjal Buyan Garu, Honorable the Chief Justice, High Court for the State of Telangana, to occupy the seat on the dais, and I request the Registrar IT to escort His Lordship to the dais. I request Honorable Sri Justice K. Lakshman Garu, Judge High Court for the State of Telangana, to present a sapling to His Lordship. Now, I request Honorable Sri Justice P. Naveen Rao Garu to occupy the seat on the dais, and I request the Registrar Protocol to escort His Lordship to the dais. I request the Registrar General to present a sapling to His Lordship. Now, to commence the program, Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sukhalam, Malayaj Sheetalam, Sasya Shyamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Shubhrajyotsna Pulakitayamini, Pullakusumita Drumadala Shobhini, Suhasini Sumadhura Bhashini, Sukhadam Varadam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram.
I request Honorable dignitaries on the dais to light the lamp. request Honorable Sri Justice P. Naveen Rao Garu to deliver the inaugural address.
Honorable Justice Ram Subramanian Garu, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Justice P. Narasimha Garu, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Justice P.V. Sanjay Kumar Garu, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Justice Ujjal Buyan, Chief Justice, State of Telangana, my dear colleagues and all dignitaries participating in the today's function. Welcome you all. Good morning. The need to establish separate family courts was first emphasized by late Srimati Durgabai Deshmukh after a visit to China in 1953. A social reformer of eminence, she had the opportunity to study their functioning and understood their role in protecting human rights. The Family Courts Act, subsequently passed in 1984, gave way to their establishment. Primarily, the main goal of family courts was to remove family and matrimonial disputes from overburdened and traditional courts of law and place them in a simple court where a layperson could understand the procedure. Family as an institution is the foundation on which humanity is based and the determining variable of our nation's social fabric. This is well recognized by family courts who base the delivery of justice on two principles: counseling and conciliation. Preserving individual rights while also serving as guide and counselor, family courts deploy a multidisciplinary approach. Absolutely none of this can be effective unless there is basic and ancillary infrastructure to support it. Warangal 10 court complex cases is no longer a secret. Litigants who attend family court proceedings, including even in metropolitan cities, describe dismal state of affairs. While more than 100 cases are listed on a daily basis, parties are still expected to elbow through waiting crowds to find a physical copy of the cause list while going from courtroom to courtroom and search for their case number as assigned. This is due to lack of digitization of case numbers and cause list. There is no waiting space or even seating available, with either unsanitary washrooms or none at all, no clean drinking water or printing facilities, and no separate spaces for litigants with children. In Warangal, when these issues were addressed, the response to them were eye-opening. The overburdening and overcrowding at family courts can no longer be ignored, and as discussed by the Supreme Court in their guidelines, setting up a separate integrated family court is the need of the hour. It is common knowledge that the approach of a family court judge has to be radically different from that in a regular matters. Here the goal is reconciliation, and as such an integrated court complex will allow for infrastructure to be in place that will meet the specific needs of such courts. Ultimately, there will be improvement in overall services of children and families, partnerships with social service providers, and definite improvement in speed and case flow of family court cases. To that end, a three-pronged approach was applied towards our efforts here. Via upgradation, renovation, and digitization, we have been successful in making this a model integrated family court complex. Courtrooms are spacious, with facilities for conducting proceedings online, making also live streaming possible, and allowing for parties to attend virtually. Using basic technology, Judges Library will make reference material available immediately to judicial officers, and ample number of display boards will show case status across court premises. Litigants can avail male and female waiting rooms, with family waiting rooms having feeding area, male and female washrooms on every floor, clean drinking water and canteen with sattvic food at lesser rates. Children have a well-equipped crèche with adjoining play area. Additionally, a mediation room and separate psychiatric services will also be made available. In terms of infrastructure, this court has all amenities to meet the requirements of litigants in a holistic manner, with the ultimate goal being that case flow will be more streamlined and the burden on judicial officers will lessen by them dealing with more well-adjusted litigants and using support infrastructure to improve disposal. As of now, there are 5,920 cases of various types which will be addressed by in this court building. I am also happy to share that all the case files to be taken up in this complex are digitized. Online case filing is being introduced. We have named the building complex as Kalpataru As we all know, the peepal tree, which we call as Ravi Chettu, has a significant place in Indian culture and history. Under this tree, the Rachabandas or the panchayats were used to be held. The elders used to sit under the peepal tree and deliver justice according to the village customs, rules and local laws. These Rajabandas were accessible to the aggrieved. It is also said that Gautam Buddha used to meditate and also attained his enlightenment under a Buddha Viksha, commonly known to us as peepal tree. Scientifically, peepal tree is one of the very few trees that give oxygen 24 hours a day. These are the three qualities that the High Court for the state of Telangana intends to incorporate into the integrated complex for family law and justice: accessible, peaceful and rejuvenating. There is some officer of this court has written in Telugu explaining what is Kalpataru. I just read. Kalpataru మనసులని మనుషులని మనసుకైన గాయానికి మందుని జతపడని జంటలకు ఉపశమనాన్ని గృహహింస బాధితులకు ఆసరాని దూరమైన చిన్నారుల మోమికి నవ్వుని మొత్తంగా బాధితులని న్యాయాన్ని కల్పతారు. I hope that it receives this. I must add that this would not have been possible without the efforts of Women and Child Welfare Department, Roads and Buildings Department, architect Mr. Naveen, contractor, HMDA, GHMC, police, Hare Rama Hare Krishna Foundation, Medical and Health Department, State Bank of India, Telangana Legal Service Authority, workers, registry and most importantly Mr. Yazdani, our employee. He has dedicated so much of time for night and day. He spent here to see that the provisions are made on time. I hope and wish that this integrated court complex for family disputes can serve as a beacon and, like its name, Kalpataru, can highlight a sense of community. Thanking you. I'm sorry, I wish to share a small video of the developments taken place in this building.
Thank you, Milan. I request Honorable the Chief Justice, Sri Ujjal Buyan Garu, to address the gathering.
Respected Sri Justice V. Ramasubramaniam, Honorable Judge, Supreme Court of India, respected Sri Justice P.S. Narasimha, Honorable Judge, Supreme Court of India, respected Sri Justice P.V. Sanjay Kumar, Judge, Honorable Judge, Supreme Court of India, my esteemed brother and sister judges, Mr. B.S. Prasad, Learned Advocate General for the State of Telangana, Mr. V. Raghunath, President, Telangana High Court Advocates Association, Mr. G. Praveen Kumar, Deputy Solicitor General of India, learned senior advocates, learned members of the bar, registrars of the High Court, Law Secretary to the Government of Telangana, Member Secretary, Telangana State Legal Services Authority, Director of Judicial Academy, Secretary, High Court Legal Services Committee, Chief Engineer, engineers and staff of the R&B Department, my friends from the media, press and media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. Today is a historic day for Telangana judiciary as the Integrated Courts on Family Disputes at Purani Haveli, Hyderabad is being inaugurated, which is a dream come true. Concerned by the inconveniences experienced by various stakeholders in respect of family court matters, it was felt that all the courts dealing in the family disputes arena should be at one place, and it was decided to have an integrated family disputes court complex. At the same time, to ensure easy accessibility and also by providing a congenial atmosphere. The building was earlier used to house the Andhra Pradesh Administrative Tribunal. After its abolition, it was decided to house all the courts dealing with family disputes under one roof, and this place was found to be the most suitable. After extensive renovation works, the complex has come up in a magnificent manner, as you have just seen in the small video clipping. As the society becomes more complex, interpersonal relationships have also become complicated, spilling over to more than one jurisdiction. Therefore, it is necessary to have a comprehensive complex in one place. Thus, this complex will house not only family courts of Hyderabad, but also courts dealing with associated disputes. To provide a conducive environment for dispute resolution, we have separate counseling rooms. There is a creche for the toddlers, separate baby feeding room and children play area. A dispensary has also been provided in case of necessity. That apart, there is a counseling room for a psychiatrist to offer services to litigants suffering from distress and trauma who need psychological assistance. There is a provision for a yoga meditation room in the ground floor for distressed litigants to de-stress themselves. In addition to the above, very many innovative additions have been made to the complex, to make the same accessible and comfortable. The complex has been aptly named Kalpataru, which has a special significance in our tradition. Kalpataru, the divine tree of life, I hope will provide the necessary ambience to the disputing partners to resolve their disputes in a peaceful manner. I must congratulate my senior colleague, Brother Justice P. Navin Rao, who as the Administrative Judge of Hyderabad District had taken personal interest and enormous pains to see that the complex comes up to the desired expectation. I must also congratulate the registry, the staff, the engineers and the contractors for developing this beautiful complex. With the infrastructure in place, I am sure it will give the desired impetus to all the stakeholders to ensure that justice becomes accessible and is administered with empathy within the four corners of the law, thus leading to a just and fair dispute resolution. Today, we are also launching the annual status report of the High Court and an agri-legal aid clinic in Jangaon district, for which I congratulate the Registry and the Telangana State Legal Services Authority. I would like to conclude by taking this opportunity to thank Honorable Sri Justice V. Ramasubramanian, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Sri Justice P. S. Narasimha, Judge Supreme Court of India, and Honorable Sri Justice P. V. Sanjay Kumar, Judge Supreme Court of India, for their support and guidance. With your kind support and guidance, and with the cooperation of all the stakeholders, Telangana judiciary will be able to provide quality and accessible justice to one and all. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Milord, for unveiling the aim and the effort for establishing the integrated courts complex on family disputes. Now, I request Honorable Sri Justice P.V. Sanjay Kumar Garu, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to deliver his Lordship's address.
Respected senior brothers on the bench, Justice V. Ramasubramanian, Justice P.S. Narasimha, Chief Justice of the Telangana High Court, Justice Ujjal Buyan, my colleague judge and senior from college, Justice Naveen Rao, brother and sister judges of the Telangana High Court present here, judges of the District Judiciary present here, Mr. B.S. Prasad, Advocate General, Telangana, Mr. V. Raghunath, President, Bar Association of the High Court of Telangana, Law Secretary, Mr. Narsingh Rao, advocates present here, members of the registry, the registrars, members of the media and press, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. No, it is a very good afternoon to you all now. The idea of establishing family courts in India was first mooted as long back as in the year 1958, but by none other than our very own Srimati Durgabai Deshmukh, freedom fighter, social activist, politician, lawyer, member of the Constituent Assembly, and a Telugu woman. In 1975, the Committee on Status of Women had recommended that all family disputes relating to women should be dealt with separately. The Law Commission also, in its 54th and 59th reports in the 1970s, had recommended that disputes relating to family and women should be dealt with without applying the rigid rules of procedure which are made applicable to usual civil proceedings. The Law Commission had also recommended that attempts should be made at mediation and conciliation in the first instance before such cases go to trial. It was only in the year 1984 that the Family Courts Act came to be enacted. It received the assent of the President on 14th September 1984. It, however, came into force in the erstwhile state of Andhra Pradesh nearly 11 years later on 15th February 1995. 28 years have passed since then, and now we stand in this magnificent family court complex. In the year 2018, as on 31/12/2018, as per the official figures, the total number of family courts in India stood at 535, and Telangana had just 16 of them. I'm told that now we have 36 family courts, including the family courts which would be situated in this beautiful complex. I was just telling Justice Naveen Rao that I remember coming to this building when it was the old administrative tribunal building. I didn't practice regularly in the administrative tribunal, but I did practice, argue one case at great length before Mr. Sudhender Kulkarni. So I used to come every afternoon practically because it took about a month to complete the case. So I remember coming to this building very often, and I just can't reconcile that old building which I visited with this lovely structure, which perhaps is attributable to the efforts made by Justice Naveen Rao greatly. As I mentioned in my message, which I think would be included in the souvenir which would be brought out on this occasion, family court litigation stands on a very different footing from usual litigation. Human feelings run high, emotions run high. The parties are emotionally involved, emotionally invested in the case, and unfortunately, most of the parties come and argue their cases as parties in person, which makes it even more difficult for the presiding judge. So in fact, one of my colleague judges was mentioning that judges will look forward to being posted in this new complex, but my remembrance of how judges in the family courts usually reacted to that posting is very different. In fact, I remember one particular family judge very candidly came and told me that if he is made to continue a little longer as the family court judge, he would not be deciding family court disputes, he would have to decide his own family dispute. So that was the situation then, and I'm sure that even now, dealing with family court litigation is extremely trying, not only for the litigants, but also for the judges concerned. So in such a situation, when you provide them this kind of atmosphere, where the parties walk into the court to soothing instrumental music, perhaps they'll be right away put in the right frame of mind. The aggression will come down perhaps a level or two, and the atmosphere which prevails in the court when they come in and they find that various litigant-friendly, child-friendly facilities have been provided, perhaps that would make it easier for the presiding judge also to interact with them, to keep emotions in control and do justice. So this building, I'm sure, will go a long way in making things easier for all the stakeholders. With these few words, I wish you all the very best. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be with you on this happy occasion. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Milord. Now I request Honorable Chief Justice P.S. Narasimha Garu, Judge Supreme Court of India, to address the gathering.
My pranams to all elders and best wishes to friends, my esteemed colleagues, Justice Ram Subramaniam, my dear friend and now Judge Sanjay Kumar, Honorable Chief Justice and his companion judges, Justice Naveen Rao, instrumental for this institution, the Vice Chancellor of NALSA, the Learned Advocate General, the President of our Bar Association, Law Secretary, and more importantly, the judicial officers who have attended. Multiple congratulations are due to the organizers. First and foremost, congratulations is for weaning away the dispute resolution mechanism of family courts from the clutches of adversarial litigation. We have seen how adversarial litigation has worked for many, many years, and I think everybody will agree with me that this has not really contributed to the resolution of family disputes. The most essential part, which actually is the heart of the issue involved in family dispute resolution, is the concept of the family itself, which is very important for us to understand. A Nobel laureate said, children tend to become very cruel if they are not brought up in a family. And I remember my younger days when I read Kalidas. He said, Prajayai Gruhamedinam. In order to bring up good children, you need to have a family. The same poet also said, if I have a loving spouse and an abiding son, what if the whole world vanishes in front of me? That is the strength of the concept of a family and the institution of a family. Society has a role in ensuring that we save the family to that extent, because civilization to a large extent would depend on it. The flip side of it is something which is very much in contrast. A broken marriage or an uncomfortable marriage, so to say, is extraordinarily emotionally charged. The kind of a trauma that it brings to people leads to loss of identity, leads to indignity. Forget about issues like access to children, access to wealth. That loss of identity and loss of indignity which prolongs is something which is very stark in comparison to what family actually gives to us. Family courts till today, under the mechanism that we had, let us speak the truth, were very intimidating. The problem commences with somebody approaching a lawyer. That's the very first step. The kind of an advice that he gets to win a case, quote unquote. So how strong he should make out the case to be. And then proceeding further to the methodology of adjudication, where you will have to put it in the form of an affidavit. Some of the most intimate, some of the most personal issues before the court, before the public, and let people know what had transpired. This is the contrast. But still people come to family courts, because that's where they hope that the courts will help them resolve the issue. The second congratulation vests in the method by which we now create a new atmosphere for resolution. And that is in the place and the environment that we create for resolution, and secondly, the sensitivity that we bring about in resolving this issue. This family court is a testament of the kind of a revolution that we have seeking to bring about, where the atmosphere is completely changed. And with the advent of new techniques of adjudication, I think even the judges are sensitized quite a bit to take up a family matter and then deal with it in a manner which is more conducive to restore the dignity of the person who comes in and then have an early resolution. Two or three things perhaps are needed here. One is, having gone this far, we need to bring about the smaller aspects of it, of decolonization, of enabling lawyers as well as the presiding judges to informally get into the adjudicatory mode by perhaps not wearing the black coat. Second most important thing is through the process of mediation, which last month the Chief Justice of Singapore, who was in the Supreme Court, said that mediation will be a game changer. It will definitely be a game changer, because all of us know that the adversarial litigation didn't really work for us. That's my personal belief. Many might not agree with it, but adversarial litigation didn't work. So we need to invent more and more ways and methodologies of innovation and resolution. I think this is a great example that we have set in. I should congratulate Naveen for his idea that he had. And second congratulation to him is for putting into action. Mere idea is not sufficient. It's actually the putting in place a place and an infrastructure in which it can be worked out. It's not a time for a full-time speech, but Kalpataru is again a very beautiful expression, as Naveen Rao has indicated. It's a wish-fulfilling a divine tree, which is manifestation of the will. The manifestation of the will is nothing but resolution of a family dispute for the judge, for the lawyer, also for the litigant. And translating that Puranic idea of a Kalpavruksham is very beautifully incorporated here. I again congratulate him for bringing in that idea, and I'm sure that's going to work very, very well. Ultimately, we must win the trust of the litigants and enable this environment and adjudicatory process in such a way that they will be happy to come here to get their disputes resolved. And that's the real test for us in times to come, to see how well we ensure that this family court, this Kalpataru, has worked out to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Milord. Now I request Honorable Sri Justice V. Ramasubramanian Garu, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to deliver his Lordship's message.
My dear colleagues, Justice Sanjay Kumar, Justice Narasimha, the Honorable Chief Justice of the High Court for the State of Telangana, Sri Ujjal Buyan, Justice Naveen Rao, the Honorable Judges of the High Court for the State of Telangana, the Learned Advocate General for the State of Telangana, the President of the Telangana High Court Advocate Association, Sri Raghunath, the judicial officers, the members of the legal fraternity, my dear friends. The word modern can be translated into Sanskrit in very many ways. One of the Sanskrit equivalent to the word modern is Naveen. Therefore, who else is more competent to take care of such a modern court complex than Honorable Justice Naveen Rao could be. As Justice Narasimha said, a lot of congratulations are due to a lot of people. First, I think charity begins at home. Therefore, we must start by congratulating ourselves, by starting the function on time and running ahead of schedule for the first time in the annals of the history of the High Court. This modern family court complex has now been created as one of the state-of-the-art family court complexes in the country. We can say it is a one-stop shop. Perhaps that is the reason why they have named this building as Kalpataru. Everyone talked about the significance of the word Kalpataru, but I would like to tell you a small parable which Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said about Kalpataru. A villager, while traveling across a forest, lost his way. It was evening time, 6 o'clock. He saw a tree. He did not know that it was Kalpataru, Kalpavriksha. So he sat under the tree. He became very hungry. So he thought, how I wish I have a sumptuous meal. Since he was sitting under a tree, under Kalpavriksha, the moment he thought, how I wish I have a sumptuous meal, immediately he had a sumptuous meal. He had his stomach full. After completing the meal, he thought, how I wish I have a good cot to sleep. The moment he thought like that, immediately he had a cot. Human desires don't stop at any level. The moment one of your wishes gets fulfilled, then you go to the next higher level. Once you go to the next higher level, you would like to go still higher. And at the end of the day, unless you hit the rock roof, your desires never get completely fulfilled. So the moment he got the cot, he thought, how I wish I have a couple of damsels to give me a good massage. Since it was a Kalpataru, immediately 2-3 damsels appeared and they started giving him a good massage. But human mind is always crooked. Therefore, from desires, the mind always travels in a different direction also. So this man thought, what is this? Whatever I wanted has been granted by this tree. I wanted a meal, I had it. I wanted a cot, I had it. I wanted 3 damsels to give me a massage, I had it. What if these damsels turn out to be demons and break my neck? That wish was also granted by Kalpataru. He was ultimately dead. Therefore, I think Kalpataru is a message conveyed to the litigating parties that you want divorce, have it here. You want a fight, have it here. You want a restitution of conjugal rights, have it here. So this is a Kalpataru which will give you whatever you wish for. Then you have a psychiatric counseling. That room carries a very interesting name, Mano Vikas Kendra. It is only because our Mano does not have Vikas that all our problems are exposed to Akas. Therefore, Mano Vikas is actually a necessity of time, not only for litigating parties, but I think for all of us. Then you have a health center, and you naturally have a courtroom in this complex. Such a modern court complex is today the need of the hour, because if you look at the statistics, it is seen that today throughout the country, about 11.4 lakhs cases are pending in family courts alone. You cannot reach the conclusion that 11.4 lakhs cases, family disputes are pending in courts. 11.4 lakh cases are family disputes are pending in family courts. There are areas where there are no family courts. If you take the total count, probably it may be, the number may double. If so many families have landed up in dispute, I think it is for the judicial officer and the counselor present in the court to give an idea to the litigating parties as to why they are fighting. I can tell you a very interesting case which I happened to handle when I was sitting in the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court. The wife was a medical doctor. The husband was a businessman. They had an 11-year-old child. What came up before me when I was sitting in the Madurai bench was a civil revision petition arising out of an interim custody order passed by a district judge. As was the practice that we used to adopt, I called both parties for a settlement talk. Settlement talks failed. They have had a very bitter fight with the criminal cases filed against each other, and the child facing a huge trauma because of the police intervening, taking custody of the child and handing it over to the mother or the father according as the case was. When I invited the parties to my chamber and first asked the 11-year-old girl, Amma, to whom do you want to go with? Do you want to go with your father or the mother? You know what the child said? Sir, you please send me with any one of them. But please don't call me to court anymore. After saying this, that child said, Sir, I would like to use your washroom. So I allowed the child to go to the washroom. She came back and said, whenever I am dragged to court, I have some kind of an uncomfortable feeling in the stomach. Every time I come to court, I face a huge trauma. Please don't ask me to come to court. You decide whatever way you want the case to be. I became terribly upset. I shouted at both the parties and said, both of you fight for the custody of the child on the ground that each one of you is more competent to take care of the child. Ultimately, this is where you have taken the child to. Is this what you wanted? Ultimately, I suggested some compromise formula. They agreed. I dictated the memorandum of compromise in my chamber because I know if they go out of the chamber, all kinds of advices may come. Therefore, I dictated the memorandum of compromise in my chamber. I took a printout. I made them sign it. I dictated the order copy. I signed it and gave it to them. After about 7 or 8 years, when I was traveling from Madurai to Chennai by flight, a person whose face appeared to be familiar, he came and wished me. I could not recognize who he was. Immediately he told me, Sir, don't you remember I appeared in a case before you in Madurai bench. I had a family dispute. And I said, oh, yes, I remember your child did not want to be called to court, I remember. Then that man said, Sir, I wanted to tell you something a very happy ending. I asked him what? Sir, we had divorced each other 14 years ago. We had a bitter fight over the custody of the child for 8 years till you decided the compromise. Today, both of us, after 14 years of divorce, have united. My daughter is studying in Chennai in MOP Vaishnava College. We are living together in Chennai. This is what he told me in the aircraft. So the judges and lawyers in family courts have a very important role to play. In my court, I used to see some of the lawyers fight so bitterly. I used to tell them, if you fight better than your clients, there is a danger that your clients may provide a room in their own houses so that instead of attacking each other physically, they can set you up to do it. Don't do that. So lawyers have a role to play. And what is the role that the judges have to play? I should really tell you this. We had a family court judge. He was really a well-meaning person, but he was a stickler to discipline. Discipline many times will not work in family courts. I have had a 9-year-old child in a child custody case telling me in my chamber, Judge uncle, you pass any order you want. I will not comply with the order. This is what a 9-year-old boy told me in my chamber. Will you punish the boy for contempt? You can't do it. Therefore, discipline is something which you can't enforce in a family because all of us know it. We are all family people. We can enforce discipline. Each one of the honorable judges know. We can enforce discipline in the court where we preside, but never at home. I think all of you will agree, judges will agree that none of you are able to. That is why, you know why we spend most of our time in the courtroom and the reading room? To avoid going to family court. So he said in the child custody, the discipline cannot be enforced. This lesson, once it is kept in mind, I think the judicial officers will have a different attitude. But that particular judicial officer, who was a very well-meaning judicial officer, was a stickler to discipline. Therefore, a lot of complaints used to come against that officer to us. So as usual, I was supposed to be the special task force wherever I was. Therefore, I had to undertake a firefighting. I called the judicial officer. I did not want to hurt him, but I wanted to convey a message. So I called the judicial officer and told him, "Sir, congratulations. I believe it is only because of you, lot of families are getting united." He did not understand the message. Then he asked me, "Sir, how?" I said, "The way you enforce discipline in court, the way you pull up both parties, the parties think their spouses are much better at home, therefore they get united." So sometimes you need to have a different kind of approach. I believe the statistics show that there are about 19,000 cases pending in family courts in the state of Telangana. Sometimes pendency also brings certain fruits, but not at all times. And what is more important for a family court judge is to maintain his or her equipoise. Many times the lawyers don't know the whole truth. If the lawyers themselves don't know the whole truth, judges can certainly not know the whole truth. Therefore, you can't go the whole hog while deciding a matter in a family dispute. If all these things are kept in mind, I think the services rendered by the family courts will be far better than the services rendered by any other court. This is because such is the need of the hour insofar as family courts are concerned. Therefore, I am very, very happy that a wonderful court complex has actually come up thanks to the efforts of the Chief Justice, Justice Naveen Rao and his entire team. They have actually put their heart and soul into the making of this court complex. They deserve our accolades. They deserve our ovation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Milord. A legal aid clinic by name Agri Legal Aid Clinic is proposed to be established at Bamera village of Janagan district for bringing awareness among the farmers in respect of agricultural laws. Now, I request Honorable Sri Justice P. Naveen Rao Garu to apprise about the clinic.
Honorable Justice Ramasubramanian Garu, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Justice P. Narasimha, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Justice P. V. Sanjay Kumar, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Justice Ujjal Bhuyan, Chief Justice, State of Telangana, my dear colleagues on the bench, judicial officers and all other dignitaries, especially to the Vice Chancellor Nalsar University. This legal aid clinic is proposed with the assistance and cooperation of Nalsar University. I start the introduction with this importance of the village in which the legal aid clinic is now going to be opened. Bamera village is the place we have identified for opening the village. The village Bamera, from where this program is being launched in the state of Telangana, is situated in Palakurti Mandal of Janagaon district. It's a great historical significance for people. Bamera Potanna, popularly known as Potana Matya, a natural and devout poet belonging to the 15th century AD, is said to have born in this historical village, Bamera. Scholars believe that Potana gave Telugus the magnum opus Mahabhagavatam from this village itself. According to folklore, Lord Sri Rama himself appeared before Potana on the banks of river Godavari while meditating and requested him to translate the Sanskrit epic Bhagavatam into Telugu and dedicate it to him. Mahabhagavatamu is regarded as the crown jewel of Telugu literature. An interesting fact is that Sri Bammera Potana was a farmer by occupation, and though a great scholar, he never hesitated to work in the agricultural fields. It is indeed a great occasion to launch this program from this historical village. Briefly, what we are aiming to do is, the transformation in Indian agriculture has been possible by technology development, adoption, policies and hard work of our farmers, supported by the legislative measures with codified laws for observation in agriculture and allied activities. Although agricultural legislations in the country was the legacy of British, real efforts were commenced only after 1947 to alter the economic condition of the farmers and status of farming through legislative measures. Since 5-year plans became an integral part of the developmental process, agricultural legislations have also become part of a purposeful national effort for changing the socio-economic conditions of the society. During the early period, the agricultural legislations could be categorized into 4 main groups, such as abolition of the intermediaries, tenancy reforms, sealing of land holdings, and laws relating to Gramdan and Bhudan. To achieve social justice and redistribution of the agricultural land, laws were passed in almost all the states to restrict the size of agricultural holdings. The government has enacted various legislations related to land, fertilizers, seeds, pesticides, plant quarantine, agriculture, marketing, etc. From tilling the land to the sale of the crop in the market, there are several agricultural laws and rules in force. Broadly, they can be classified into fertilizers legislation, seed legislation, pesticides legislation, irrigation legislation, some of the agriculture marketing legislations, and generally about land. Though these laws are made to protect and safeguard the interests of the farmers, there is a huge gap in enforcing these laws. Many of the farmers are not aware of the laws operating in the field. They have no knowledge on how to enforce them. They are misled by gullible businessmen and middlemen in supplying seeds, farm equipment and selling of farm products. In addition, government rolls out new initiatives, schemes, programs and plans for the benefit of welfare of the farmers and implement several farmers welfare schemes so as to revitalize agriculture sector and improve the economic conditions of the farmers. Some of them are like Raitu Bandhu scheme, Raitu Bima scheme, Soil Health Card scheme, subsidy seed distribution, seed village program, farm mechanization, Rashtriya Kisan Vikas Yojana, Rain-Fed Area Development Scheme, National Food Security Mission, Agriculture Technology Management Agency, PM Kisan Yojana, to name a few. But the advantages of these initiatives and schemes have not percolated due to lack of awareness and understanding. Cultivation can go on smoothly and farmers can earn better returns when farmers understand the scope of the laws, initiatives and the schemes and able to utilize them for redressal of their problems. One other major problem faced, particularly by small farmers, is regarding land records. Many of the farmers are not familiar with laws govern on owning the land. Even now in the villages, sale transactions take place orally or written on unstamped white papers. As the value of the land goes up, the farmers' lands in whirlpool of litigation. Government of Telangana has developed a new integrated land records management system called Dharani that combines land administration and registration services, which serves as a single source of information for all land transactions and discharge all land related functions in an integrated, efficient and effective manner with all actions on a near real-time basis. The Dharani web portal also provides GIS system which provides visual representation of the land record data. The land details should be registered in the Dharani portal. The district collectors rectify the records when applications are made through Dharani web portal. Issues relating to non-issuance of pattas, correction of details can also be made through Dharani. Farmers should apply for mutation of land obtained through inheritance, property share, gift deed, will deed, court decree or any other forms on the Dharani portal. However, due to several technical snags in its operations and lack of understanding, the farmers are subjected to a lot of hardship and suffering in dealing with their land matters. Most of the farming community belong to the marginalized sections of the society. The objective of program is to educate the farmers on above laws and familiarize them with legal environment, their rights, responsibilities, and the legal remedies available to farmers on any issue concerning their land and agriculture activity. The Agri Legal Aid Clinic will be manned by the trained legal volunteers who will educate the farmers on agriculture legislations, farmer welfare schemes, and also sensitize them on their rights, responsibilities, and remedies available under law for redressal of their land-related problems and allied activities. It is befitting that it starts from Bamera village. I welcome the villagers of Bamera for this event and request Honorable Justice Ramasubramaniam Garu to inaugurate, to launch the program. I thank Honorable Justice Ramasubramaniam Garu to inaugurate. I request the Bamera village to stand as the example for all the other villages to emulate you and make this program success. And it will be of great help to the villagers in learning. As a son of a farmer, I know the difficulties the farmers have been facing. So I understand the difficulties that you face, and hope we all utilize the facilities now, the legal aid clinics, for knowing about the laws and their utility. Thank you all.
Thank you, Millard. The amenities and the facilities made available in the Integrated Courts Complex on Family Disputes, along with representational images, have been codified in a book titled Renaissance, that is Coffee Table Book. I request Honorable Sri Justice P.S. Narasimha Garu, Judge Supreme Court of India, to launch the Coffee Table Book and the brochure on Integrated Courts Complex on Family Disputes. Thank you, Millard. I request Honorable Sri Justice P.V. Sanjay Kumar Garu, Judge Supreme Court of India, to release Nyayam Ayoka, the annual status report of the High Court for the state of Telangana. Thank you, Millard. I request Honorable Sri V. Ramasubramaniam Garu, Judge Supreme Court of India, to release the brochure about Agri Legal Aid Clinic. Thank you very much, Milord. I request Honorable the Chief Justice and Honorable Sri Justice P. Naveen Rao Garu to felicitate the Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court of India on behalf of the High Court for the State of Telangana. Thank you, Milord. I request Honorable Sri Justice V. Ramasubramanian Garu to felicitate Honorable the Chief Justice Sri Ujjal Buyan Garu and Honorable Sri Justice P. Naveen Rao Garu, and request Honorable Sri Justice P. Narasimha Garu and Honorable Sri Justice P. V. Sanjay Kumar Garu to join in the said felicitation. At the ground level, in the execution of the work, 4 persons have been involved, deeply involved, and I request Mr. Hafizuddin, Superintendent Engineer, R&B, to come over to the dais, and I request Honorable Sri Justice V. Ramasubramanian Garu to felicitate him. I also request Mr. Nagarjun Reddy on behalf of Srivani Landscape Architect to come over to the dais. I request Srimati Srivani to come out to the dais. I request Mr. Nagarjun Reddy Garu to come out to the dais. I request Mr. Yajdani, Court Manager, to come out to the dais. Now, I request Honorable Sri Justice Abhinand Kumar Shavali Garu, Judge, High Court for the State of Telangana, to deliver vote of thanks.
A very good afternoon to everyone. I have a great honor and privilege for me to propose vote of thanks for this inaugural function of Integrated Family Courts Complex at Purani Haveli. I extremely thank Honorable Justice V. Ramasubramaniam, Judge Supreme Court of India, who in spite of his busy schedule has taken time and given consent to inaugurate this building. And we also look forward to move with this wonderful message we has given about the Kalpataru, the magic of Kalpataru tree. I think if that message is made, passed on to the litigant public, half of the disputes will be settled, I think. That is one aspect. Now, I convey my sincere thanks to Honorable Justice P.S. Narasimha, Judge Supreme Court of India, for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion. And he has told the importance of family. What is a family? I wish everybody should think on those lines again and follow that. I also sincerely thank Honorable Justice P.V. Sanjay Kumar, Judge Supreme Court of India, and he has told the importance of family courts, how they have started. So everybody should look forward and take these messages forward and see that the litigation is reduced. At least we must make an effort from our side. I also thank Honorable Justice, Chief Justice Ujjwal Buyan for his Lordship's valuable guidance to the registry in organizing this function. I also thank Honorable Justice Naveen, Administrative Judge, who has taken so much pains and meticulous planning and instructions in making this a reality. I also thank my brother and sister judges, Advocate General, President Bar Association, and other dignitaries who are present here. I also thank the registrar officers of the court for their dedicated work and cooperation in making this a program a very grand success. I also thank print and electronic media for covering this function. I request them to give adequate publicity for today's inaugural function, which is the first of its kind in the state, so as to enable the litigant public to make use of this wonderful facility and take this, the litigant public, let them take good decisions in this wonderful ambience, because ambience makes them think twice what will be the consequences and all those things. So I wish all the litigant public, especially family disputes, they take some decisions with some responsibility and resolve all their disputes. Now, but I also thank everyone, whoever is present here, especially the officials of Roads and Buildings Department, who have worked untiringly and made this wonderful renovation to the old building of Administrative Tribunal. I also thank police officials for making security arrangements and traffic arrangements. Thank you once again to all of us.
Thank you, Milord. Now the program will be concluded with the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
I request all the honorable judges to join for a photograph. I request all the guests to join in the high tea at Bar Association Hall that is behind the venue.